Let me give you 4 techniques to achieve top service. Now, the first technique is based on a question. And that question is, what do you never say to a customer? Now, I'm not going to tell you straight away. I'm going to advise you to stop this video and think about it. And I'm not looking for an answer. I'm looking for a technique. Because I can hear a lot of people say, oh, you never say no to a customer. No, that's not true. Sometimes you have to say no. Other people will say, you never say to a customer it's not possible. Oh, that's not true either. Sometimes things are not possible. So what do you never say to a customer? Stop the video now and think about it. Right, did you stop the video? I hope you did. Because this is what you never say to a customer. You never say anything you're not 100% sure of. You never say anything you're not 100% certain of. Now think about that. If people, for example, ask you something in your line of business, oh, can we have this or that, or can we add that to the agreement, etc., etc. And if you're not 100% certain, you will have to go back to your customer saying, oh, it didn't really work out, or it's not really possible. You have to be 100% certain. Now, this rule of being 100% certain, it will take a day or two to let it sink in. But I promise you it works. This is the first technique I wanted to share with you. The second technique I wanted to share with you is we always give multiple options. Giving multiple options in any situation, whatever the line of work you are in, it will really serve you. Again, let's say somebody calls you to make an appointment. And you could say, well, very good, sir, I can see you on Thursday or on Friday. You give 2 options. And then your customer might say, well, let's do Friday. Oh, great. I got 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. What suits you the best? Well, let's do 10 o'clock. Again, 2 options. And in any situation, try to give as much options as possible. Also, in your proposals, for example, give multiple options so people have choice. And giving multiple options will be key to a technique I will talk later about. It's called the art of recovery. It's turning a negative situation into a positive one. And giving options is the heart of solving such issues, such as complaints. And I'll tell you this, you'll hear about this later on, but you are not able to solve a complaint. Nobody is. Do you strike that as a strange thought? But it's true. You can only facilitate it, and you can do that by giving options. I'll show you that later on, as said. Third technique is called invisible service. Now you're probably thinking it's hard enough to give visible service. Now what is invisible service? Well, invisible service is a service we provide for our customer which we do not tell them and they haven't asked for. Now, let me go back to a slide I showed you in Eye for Detail. This, for example. You see these in restaurants, in hotels. And first of all, this is Eye for Detail, but it's also invisible service. Because I didn't tell you I folded your toilet paper, and you didn't ask me, have you folded my toilet paper? No, it's an invisible service. So it's a service I gave to my customer, which they didn't ask for, but I'm not about to tell them as well. Here's another example of invisible service. Now, this is a hotel in London, and in this hotel, there is no check-in. You can go to the room straight away. You have to make a reservation, of course, but if you have made a reservation, you can go to your room straight away, and the check-in happens in your room. So you don't have to wait at reception. Now that was great. Even the checkout is done in the room. And there are a few hotels like that. But that is also what we call invisible service. Invisible service is also things you don't see. Like this, for example. This is what we call a house perfume. It will allow you to scent the room and give it a nice smell when people come in. And they will say, smells great here. I know, for example, of a shop who is selling kitchens. And they actually put a bread in the oven because before the showroom opens. And people come in and have that great smell of a real kitchen. Now that is of course the subconscious that will relate that smell to the product. And that is what you can do as well. That is also invisible service. And invisible service can go pretty far. Because, for example, in casinos, it's not really invisible service, it's more, let's say, manipulating the brain. Because in casinos, in certain casinos in the world, because in other places it's illegal, they put helium in the air conditioning to make you happy and to make sure that you play more. There are not many casinos in the world where you, for example, will find a clock on the wall or have any daylight. They want to disorientate you completely. If you go, for example, to the slot machines, music will be faster, so you can push the button faster. When you go to the roulette games, music will be slower, so you can put your chips more on to the number you like. So as you can see, invisible service is really interesting. But there's another reason why you need invisible service. Try to be in the shoes of your guest or your customer. Because a lot of people in business, they go to their business every single day and they miss out on certain details. They don't see it anymore. They open up the door every morning, switch on the lights, they know where everything is, but they don't see it like the customer sees it. Let's say, for example, you have a restaurant or any business that has a price list. Have you ever considered, can I read that price list as it should? I'm not wearing any glasses, but for example, somebody who is wearing glasses, is it visible enough? That is putting yourself into the shoes of somebody else. I'll give you a concrete example. There is a technique which is called MBWA. This is an official management technique, and the meaning of that abbreviation is management by walking around. That means walking around your business and having a look at it through the eyes of your customer. And thinking to yourself, what could be improved? What can I do better? And actually, at Disney, they have people like that. They have a guy running around Disney parks every single day. And he's checking out stuff as he would be a guest. And all of a sudden, he comes into the bathroom for the gentlemen. And as you know, these standard bathrooms for gentlemen, sometimes you don't have anywhere to put your stuff. If you have your keys in your hand or your iPhone, you have to put it on the sink and then, go to the toilet and have one eye on your keys so that nobody steals it. Now, this guy at Disney, he saw the same issue. What did he do? Well, he solved it in a really simple way. Have a look. You see the small plank on top of the toilet? Well, that's really easy to put, for example, your stuff on. And that is what I call invisible service. Now think to yourself, what can you do to add invisible service to your services or to your product?